My name is Sean Keating. Oh, hey, there we go. We are live. That's the notification right there. So we are streaming live for our first ever Cardinal Stritch University live stream with a student panel today. My name is Sean Keating. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admission. I'm really excited to be doing this first time event live with a couple of our student ambassadors, and hopefully we'll have one more joining us shortly here. So just for some context, all of our students here at Cardinal Stritch University started remote learning today. That was kind of our plan, was to get our students to the Thanksgiving weekend so we could get them home safely and get them away from any potential opportunities for them to get infected. We have 3 of our current students with us, and they kind of span the spectrum of student life and student experiences here at Cardinal Stritch. Noah looks like he just woke up. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Noah. This is also an opportunity if you're a current student or a member of the community to ask our students questions or to ask me questions. We are monitoring our chat both on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you have questions, by all means, add those into the chat and we'll answer them as they come in. Otherwise, we have questions that we're going to kind of work through and ask each of the student ambassadors over the next 30 to 40 minutes. So why don't we go ahead and take a minute and introduce everybody. We'll start on the top of my screen, which is Maddie. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Maddie?
Now I'm unmuted. So my name is Maddie. I'm a senior here at Stritch. I'm an English literature and creative writing double major with a minor in history. I'm from Frisco, Texas, so I went to Frisco High School, not a high school anyone's gonna know. And I kind of came to Stritch because I was looking for a really small university that saw me as a person and rather than a number, and I just got that and a really good family feel from Stritch.
Thanks so much, Maddie. Mateus, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us your name and where you're from and why you came to Stritch, and tell us exactly where you are as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matheus Andrade. I'm an international student from Brazil. I'm double major in international business and business administration, and I also have a marketing concentration. And I'm also part of the men's volleyball team here at Stritch. One of the main reasons I came to Stritch is why they are really welcome to the international community, which makes me feel at home here. And also, my high school name is Giovanni. I think not everyone you know. And thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Mateus. Noah, you're up next. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you ended up coming to Stritch.
Hi, my name is Noah Clements, and I'm a business major, and I'm also a part of the volleyball team, like Matthias said. And one of the biggest reasons I came to Stritch was on my tour with actually one of the student ambassadors. He said hello to everybody he saw in the hallway, so it like made me feel like everyone kind of like knew each other and like we're all kind of a family.
Thanks so much, Noah. So one of our first questions that we have that we typically always ask our students about their Stritch experience, and a question that a lot of prospective students have, whether you're a high school student or even a transfer student, is what has been the biggest adjustment when you came to Stritch, when you started college? What has been your biggest adjustment? So I give you guys a second to think about that, and I'm going to pitch that to Noah first, because Noah is a freshman. So what's been the biggest adjustment so far, Noah?
Probably my biggest adjustment was like my environment. Usually my family is very like we talk to each other the whole time, and like we just like we're very open and we're very like communicative. So when I first got to Stritch, I didn't really have that like family, but I immediately found it with the people next to me in my hall. Like just like not even 2 days in, we just started talking, and it's like they become your roommates even, but it's just like the next room down. So that was probably my biggest adjustment.
Thanks, Noah. Let's go to Maddie. What has been your biggest adjustment?
The biggest adjustment for me, this is gonna sound so cliche, was the weather. Weather for one, just geographically wise, but then also I guess like based off of school would just be kind of just getting used to not having like my parents there all the time, kind of like how Noah said, like not having his family around him all the time, and then just getting used to being in a place where nobody knew who I was. So, but like he said, I made friends very quickly with the people around me on my hall as well, which was really nice.
Maddie, can you explain really quick the temperature difference for our listeners?
Sure. I am used to in the summer about like 105 normally, just like for a month straight, just hitting triple digits every day. I'm used to like it hitting like 40, 30 as like the really cold weather that you get in winter. I experienced my first single digit, and then my first negative single, and then eventually a negative double digit, which is not something I would like to experience on a regular basis, really. But you get there, you use it, you get used to it, get some good winter clothes, and hide from outside.
Matthias, can you hear me? I think your mic still is muted.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. I may have been muted too.
Sorry, yeah, I couldn't hear you. It was mute, not my mic, but I couldn't hear. So sorry about that. But as an international student, some of the challenge that I have here at Stritch was, of course, first the language, second the weather, because coming from Brazil, it's a really warm place. And third, of course, I speak Portuguese back home, so I didn't have a very good English when I came here at first time. So it was a big adjustment for me. And the weather, I wasn't used to the cold that we have here, but I think that's right now I'm getting used to that, and that's not a big challenge anymore. But also being away from my family is it's a big challenge that I think I carry and I face every day.
For all of you, I know we are all taking classes. We all just made all of our students just made the remote switch today, actually. So last Friday was our last time that we did in-person classes on campus, and that was our plan here at Cardinal Stritch, was to get our students to Thanksgiving break successfully, and then have our students go remote through the rest of the semester into December with remote classes and taking their finals. But that's made some interesting learning experience, I know, from having talked with all of you. So Maddie, talk a little bit about some of your favorite classes here at Stritch.
Yeah, so as an English major, I absolutely adore my English classes. I just really love we're a very, very small major, and as a result, we tend to see the same faces in all of our specific major classes, which is really nice because we're kind of all going through the same classes at the same time. So we're there to help each other kind of understand the books we're reading. And also, it's just great communication and great conversation and debate that happens out of that. But outside of that, my favorite classes, I love having my history classes with Dr. Webb. I just love how he teaches, his lecture style versus how he teaches, and just how kind he is. Just really, I love having classes with him, and I purposely will take classes with him, even if they don't do anything towards my graduation, just so I can kind of have a little bit more time with him as a professor, because I do enjoy him so much.
Nice, thank you. Noah, new freshman, new experience. Tell us about your favorite classes.
Probably the head of the department is Dr. Moore.
Well, it looks like we might have a little bit of a bad connection on Noah's side or on my side, because I know he's freezed up a little bit with me. So we're going to over to Mateus. Tell us a little bit about one of your favorite classes, Mateus.
So my major classes, there are the classes related to my major. Business classes and marketing classes are my favorite classes. And as Maddie said, those classes you're used to see the same people, and you guys we kind of get like through. So those are my favorite classes here on campus, my major classes.
Great, thank you. All right, looks like Noah's back, better than ever. Favorite classes, Noah? Go ahead.
So for my favorite classes, I would have to say it's my my major classes. It's with Dr. Moore, and Dr. Moore is one of the coolest teachers I probably ever had in my education experience. She gets everybody involved, even if we're on a Zoom. Like everybody's got their cameras on and like super engaged because she's just like her energy just brings everybody like that much more excitement in the class.
Nice. Thank you very much. So I know during a regular school year, you would all still be living on campus and getting ready for a nice Thanksgiving weekend coming up. So when you are living on campus and when it's not necessarily the times we're living in right now, Mateus, do you live on campus, and what do you take advantage of because you live on campus?
I'm off campus this semester, but I did live on campus for my first year here at Stritch. It was just very, what is the word for that? It was easy for me to do stuff because I was like close to everything. I was close to the cafeteria, to the gym where I go to practice, and to the classrooms. So I like I had like I was connected to all places on campus. I don't live too far right now, but I like it living on campus, and now I'm enjoying the experience of living off campus as well.
Nice, thank you. Maddie, regular school year, I know you live on campus, being from Texas, and also tell us a little bit about your campus experience living in the residence halls.
Yeah, so I have when I've lived on campus during the school year, which was my freshman, junior, and my senior year, because freshman, sophomore, and now senior year, because last year I was abroad. I have lived in Clare in a single for all 3 of those years. And then the one summer that I stayed on campus, I was in a CC in a suite style room with a couple of my friends. I just love living on campus. I love being so close to everything with dining and classes and just the family feel. There's like a separate, smaller community when you live on campus, and just how there's always something to do. There's always something going on. And just the events Res Life holds is really, really fun. And just being able to be so integrated into the Stritch community at a different level is just, I love being a part of it.
And it looks like we're getting an exciting tour of Noah's house, which is awesome. Thanks, Noah. Noah, tell us a little bit about living on campus. I know you do live on campus. Tell us a little bit about that experience as a freshman.
Hey, sorry, I just had to move a little closer to the internet connection. But I do live on campus as a freshman, and my hands down favorite part is that, like Maddie says, I am from the Midwest, so it does get very cold in the Midwest. And if you live on campus, it's pretty much connected to most, or if not all, of your classes. So you don't even have to step outside once, which is quite nice if you do not like the cold, like not many people do. But also, my favorite thing is we have this place called the Den in the residence hall, and it's one of my favorite places to go. It's like the coolest mood. We have like lights in there. We have a pool table, and we have a TV that you can hook up your computer to, and it's just one of the funnest parts of my experience on Stritch.
So, what about other favorite hangouts on campus? So, I know one of my favorite places to go on campus as a staff member is the Bean, because coffee fuels admissions counselors. So, I enjoy going to the Bean and getting a hot cup of coffee 2 or 3 or 4 times a day. I haven't done that yet, so I'm not as jittery as I usually am. But what about other locations on campus? Noah, I know you mentioned the Den and the residence halls. Where else do you like to hang out when you're on campus?
Like you said, I also like the Bean. Just the Union makes amazing food, so when I'm there, it's always a good time. But I also like hanging out at we have different hangout spots outside of our gym, in between our gym and our library, where some of the athletes usually go, and we like watch film and stuff. And pretty much any part of the school you can find some sort of a couch or hangout spot.
Nice. Maddie, how about you? Where do you like to hang out on campus?
Well, you took my bean option because I mean, English majors as well as just all college students are fueled by caffeine. But other than that, I think the new kind of study area across from the mail rooms at Stritch, I think they called it the Stritch Living Room as its current official name. But I really like that place just because the amount of like couches and tables that are there and the ability to just study and have like a nice place to study and hang out in between classes, and just having a place to like socially distance and stuff is really nice.
Mateus, how about yourself? Where do you like to hang out on campus?
I study a lot, so I like the second floor of the library because it's a silent floor. It's really peaceful, and you can find your place in there to study for your midterms, your finals, a quiz that you have. Oh, sometimes just go there to read the chapter for a class or something like that. Joy on campus, second floor of the library.
That is definitely one of my favorite spots as well. I do also enjoy going up to the chapel here on campus, especially for a nice place to have some quiet time and just to be able to reflect, especially during a busy day on campus. So I know you guys have all mentioned that you're definitely very involved as students here at Cardinal Stritch. But let's talk a little bit more about specifics. What do you do outside of Stritch? So what other extracurricular activities do you guys like to participate in when you're not studying, when you're not cramming for a finals, when you're not playing volleyball or involved in athletics? What do you do outside of Stritch? I think it's always important for students to kind of know that you do have life outside of school. So Mateus, I kind of pitched that question to you. What do you do as an international student when you're not studying or playing volleyball?
For the summer of the fall semester, it's nice going downtown. It's nice going out to restaurants with friends. I like going to the lake, running to the lake. There is a park, I think it's Cloud Park. I always run there in the afternoon when I have a free time, and I just sit by the lake and watch it for like 2 hours straight. It's really peaceful and nice, and I also get my exercise done by running there and running back here.
Maddie, how about yourself? What do you do outside of school?
Outside of school, well, obviously outside of just being a student, I am a student worker. I've worked on Stritch campus since the end of my first semester freshman year. So I thoroughly enjoy that. But kind of, if you're just talking outside of even that with Stritch, hanging out with my friends and everything. I really do enjoy doing that. I kind of help out or participate in events with campus ministry as well. Kind of like they do Alpha Study Group every other week and stuff that I've been a part of a bit, and kind of just other on-campus events and stuff like that. But kind of like what Mateo said, like going downtown is really fun. I really enjoy that. Third Ward is my favorite part of downtown Milwaukee, as well as just being with my friends. And I'm lucky enough to also have family in the area that I can hang out with and see on a pretty regular basis when COVID is not happening.
Noah, how about yourself? What do you do outside of school?
Well, I am kind of obsessed with a place that we have here in Milwaukee called Cops. That's quite a destination if you're around. It's one of my favorites. It's the best custard like ever, and really good hamburgers. But like if we're talking activities, I really like to. Me and Matthias, we did a lot of this over like when it was a little hotter. We played. We have beach volleyball courts right outside the dorms or the residence halls, and we will go out there and we'll play from 12 to sunset, and it's just like it's the nicest, most relaxing thing. It's just like even we'll get groups of people out there. We'll have like 15 people because we have two different courts, and we can do spike ball on the side in the grass, and then people who don't even play volleyball come out, and we just try to have as much fun as possible.
Nice. And if you're eating that much Cops, you definitely need to be playing volleyball a little bit more regularly. It's definitely one of my favorite places too. I think it's really nice too, just our location on campus, being close to places like Cops, Bayshore Mall, the lakefront, as Mateus mentioned. We're close to the expressway to get you downtown real quick. There's public transportation, which is very reliable. We've got a Pick and Save. We have an Aldi. My favorite place to get involved in is Dr. Dog. I like to get involved in a couple of hot dogs and French fries when I'm not on campus having lunch. But I also enjoy, we've got a great resource here in Milwaukee called Feeding America, and that's a great place to go and volunteer. And I know a lot of our students have spent volunteer time at Feeding America, stuffing boxes and sorting meals for families in need in the Milwaukee area. So lots of great opportunities there. So what other unique opportunities do you guys take advantage of here at Cardinal Stritch? I know we have the honors program. We have programs like Leaders, Franciscan Servant Scholars. What other programs or clubs are you involved in outside of the normal things that you're participating in? We'll throw that to Maddie.
Awesome. So I think one of the most like unique opportunities, which has been one of my favorite opportunities that I've been able to have as while I have been at Stritch, is study abroad, the study abroad program. My junior year, so both semesters, my junior year, so last year, I was able to study abroad in Ireland at Carlow College St. Patrick's in Carlow, Ireland, and that was just one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. And I love the fact that Stritch has so many options and opportunities for our students to study abroad in, and that Sarah Sweeney, who kind of overheads all of that, is really there to help support you and help you get to where you want to get to in the world, and just make sure that you have that experience where you get to experience going to school and living with other cultures and perhaps other languages, and just kind of broadening your worldview.
Nice. How about Noah? What else are you taking advantage of here at Stritch as a new student?
Early on, most of the volleyball kids, they all told me to go into Eco Club. So we all have a good time in Eco Club. We make different things out of jerseys and old plastic bags and stuff like that. And we find fun ways to do stuff like that. We did pumpkin carving like a couple weeks ago for Halloween, and it's a fun time. Plus, I'm a part of the volleyball team with the guys, and it's really fun doing a sport here too.
Thanks, Noah. Mateo, same question. What unique opportunities are you taking advantage of here at Stritch?
I think that one unique opportunity that I take advantage here is being international with being allowed here. And for that's it's a great learning experience. So I feel like the opportunity of being on campus is something that I take advantage of as international because I'm able to learn a lot. And also, I like being at the volleyball team and working for admissions and for um, the COVID that I recall. So I think those are the unique opportunities that
Great, thank you. So thinking about, you are all student ambassadors, and I know some of you have had other jobs here on campus. What's it like to work on campus? What's it like having a campus job? Why don't we start with Maddie?
Yeah, so as an out-of-state student and also somebody without a car, it's very, very nice to have a job where I don't have to worry about transportation. I walk basically from either my class or my room in Clare to my workplace, which is really super nice. And I just love being able to kind of further gain connections, professional connections. Sorry, gain professional connections at Stritch um, through working and just being able to have all of the working with admissions. I work with admissions, so it's really nice to just have all those professional connections and learning about a part of the college admissions process and kind of just learning whether or not it's something that you could go into professionally.
Great, thank you. Noah, you're a newer employee. You just recently started working in the admissions office. What's it like working on campus?
Well, it's definitely fun to see all your different teachers and like students outside of their like natural habitats. So the teachers I usually half of my teachers I see are online. So I actually don't really get to see what they look like in person until I started working in the desk. So actually got to see my teachers, and it's fun to see how everybody is when they're just like normal and they're not like doing their own thing. Plus, I learned a lot more about a school than I previously didn't know.
Yeah, you learn all of the ins and outs working as a student ambassador about the secret history of Cardinal Stritch University. Mateus, how about you? I know you've held a few jobs during your time here on campus. Talk a little bit about what it's like to work on campus.
Yeah, I've worked in a couple places: IT, welcome desk, COVID desk, maintenance. Um, I think it's especially as international, we cannot work outside of campus. If you are international, you're only allowed to work on campus or in an internship, some money, and I like how the schedule is really flexible. As you are able to work, go to your class, and still go to your athletic activity. So the thing that I like the most is this flexibility, and also, as Noah said, I think if I didn't work here, I would know as much as I know. I wouldn't have as much knowledge as I have now about campus and all the activities and how the college works.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. So we're going to kind of get into some nitty gritty questions. These have all been tell us about your student experience and what life is like here at Cardinal Stritch. So obviously our hope is that we have a number of prospective students watching and engaging with us today. So I want to send a reminder out to everybody that's watching. If you do have questions or comments that you want to leave our student ambassadors as they're talking about their Stritch experience, by all means, add them into the comments on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll answer those as they come in. So for all of you, think about this, take a second. What do you wish you knew about college when you were a senior or a junior in high school? So noodle it for a second, think about it. What do you wish you knew as a junior or a senior while you were in high school? You didn't know about college that you know now. So think about that for a second. I'm probably going to pitch this off to our senior here who's getting ready to graduate. So Maddie, this is a good question for you. You've gotten through your whole experience so far here at Stritch. What do you wish you knew?
That the level of studying I did in high school to get the grades I wanted is not anywhere near the amount I needed to do in college. It definitely, school classes in high school, though I took AP level classes and everything, definitely the level of studying and the quality of studying I did has definitely had to increase and improve since I started college in order to get the grades I wanted to get and to kind of learn what I wanted to learn and be successful.
Then we'll go to the flip side. We'll ask the new freshman, what do you wish you knew last year, Noah, that you now know about college?
Well, in high school, we usually have a very structured day. We have everything. We have school from 8 to 3 or whatever, and then we get off. We're doing our clubs and such, or volleyball until 5. We get home, and then we have our hour for homework. Then we have our dinner, and then we go to sleep. Right? It's very scheduled. But in college, it's like the opposite. You have your class from maybe 3 hours of the day, and then you have the rest of the day where you feel like you have the most free time in the world, but you actually don't, because you have to plan, and you have to make sure you have your hours for studying and when you're going to eat. So it's very structured in high school, but once you get to college, it's very, very not structured, and you have to really learn what you need as a student. And organization wise, I know a lot of people do planners and to-do lists and stuff like that, but it's just what you need as a student to succeed.
Nice, very nice. I'll tell you the same question. What do you know now that you wish you had known back in high school about college?
I mean, again, I think my experience is very different from Noah and Maddie. The high school, the college system is. I was playing semi-pro volleyball in Brazil when I was in high school, so I didn't really care a lot about high school and grades. But as soon as I found out about the opportunity to come and study and play abroad, I wish I knew that my grades on high school would help me to get financial aid here, like merit academic scholarships. So as high as your GPA in high school, the more money you can get for financial support. And I didn't know that, and because if I knew that, I would have done a better job on high school, and as that could help me financially for my college journey.
Nice, perfect. So one of the questions that we hear from students, or we learn about from students during their first couple of years in school, and as they progress through college and university, and maybe they go off to professional school, or they go off and get a degree, a master's degree or something like that, is how their relationships change, especially with their families. You come off to college, you're living in the dorms. Like Noah said, you have free time and suddenly responsibility. I don't know why I put responsibility in quotes, but I did. Sorry about that. But you have all this extra free time, and you're actually living life somewhat on your own with very little support from your family. And Maddie, you made mention of not being able to talk to your parents all the time. So how has your relationships changed with your family members? Noah, this might hit a little bit more home for you. So why don't you go ahead and answer that question first? How's it kind of changed over the last semester or so?
Well, I feel like my parents kind of view me more as an adult, as I got into college, and they could see that I actually could do things on my own, that I could structure my day and stuff like that. So I feel like once you're in college, it earns you're not really their little thing anymore. You're an actual adult officially, that you can actually take care of yourself and like do the things that like they were doing for you this whole time.
Like probably your laundry, right?
That was a big milestone for me for sure.
Maddie, we'll kick it up to you. What's changed? How's your relationship changed with your family? And I know that wasn't your dad. I know you're staying at your aunt and uncle's up here. So
Yeah.
what's in your relationship with your family so far?
Yeah, so it's actually been really interesting. Before I moved up here, I was lucky to see like my aunts and uncles and my grandparents like once a year for like a week. So it's been really, really nice getting really close to them and getting a lot closer to my cousins and kind of just being a little bit more involved with that side of my family. And then like with my parents and stuff, they definitely see me as more of an adult, and kind of just expect me to be able to do certain things kind of by myself. Like now when I'm home, I don't get asked if I want my laundry to be done. It's kind of she'll get it done when she needs to get it done. So just stuff like that. And it's a lot more like just responsibilities at home that I didn't have prior, kind of as the expect that I've been able to be expected to be able to do, as well as kind of just being here and being able to see and being more integrated into kind of my mom's side of the family than I was prior to coming to Stritch.
Tell you, same question. How has your relationship with your family evolved since coming to Cardinal Stritch?
I mean, a very emotional question since it's been over a year. I don't see my family, so our relationship has changed in a way that we've built a stronger relationship. I've seen how much I miss them being away from them, and how much they miss me, and how much we are important for each other. My siblings to me to them, me to my parents, and my parents to me. So I think that we've created a stronger relationship, and we have bonded together more as a how we miss each other and how we miss having the family all together, because my sister also go to college abroad, and it's just my parents and my brother back home.
Great, thanks. So, last couple of questions I have for you guys is what's one piece you have it? What's one piece of advice that you have for parents? So, like I said, we have hopefully a lot of prospective students watching, maybe some parents watching. Noah, what's one piece of advice you would give to parents as students are doing their college search and parents are supporting them in that search?
I would say parents tend to focus on grades and things like this, but I think one of the most like impactful things about college for me was the environment and the people I met there. And like I would say like look for an environment that your kid would like love to have. Like even with we have a crazy cool environment where we have a 12% of our school or more is international. So I meet so many cool people from different countries. And I feel like that has been more impactful on my life than just the academic side of it.
Nice. Mateus, what's a piece of advice you would give to parents?
I would say motivate your kids to be involved on campus activities, and also if, for example, going to visit and stuff like that. My parents have like always been really present on my life as a student, as a volleyball player, even in my personal life, and that's something that I like a lot because they know much better than I know. So they're always ready to give me valuable advices and help me through in numerous situations in my life. So I'll just say motivate your kids and be with them, because the journey of college can be really challenging. It makes things easy.
Thanks. Maddie, piece of advice for mom and dads.
Yeah, I'd say just trust your student. Your your child is making a decision that's going to really help guide them for the rest of their lives. So be there to support them, but also trust what they're telling you. Like trust if it might not be the biggest fancy state school, or it might not be the school that you went to that they find a connection to, and kind of just be there to support them, because ultimately, as nice as it would be to be able to have the connection with them going to the same school you went to, they're not you. They're going to have different things that they're looking for in college. And at the end of the day, you just want them to be happy, and you want them to be safe, and you want them to succeed. So kind of just trusting them in what school they find interest in, and being there to support their decisions. And whether or not that's just a college, a major, whatever, kind of just being there to support them and trusting that they know what they need in order to be successful.
Nice. So I'm gonna pitch the follow-up question to Maddie as well, since she's the outgoing senior here, going to graduate very shortly for us. So Maddie, what's a piece of advice that you would give a prospective student, whether they're a high school student or a transfer student, or even a returning adult student? What's something that you want to share with a future student here at Cardinal Stritch?
Yeah, kind of similar to what's been said before, is just make sure you're involved on campus in whichever way or however much that you want to or are able to. Don't just go from class to work or to get food and go back to your room. Attempt to actually be a part of campus, be an active member, whether or not that's by joining a club, getting a job on campus, or just finding a really close-knit group of friends. But by being involved on campus and making connections, not only could it possibly help you in the future with those master's applications or jobs, or finding jobs if you're making professional connections, but also if you're just making social connections, it creates a support system that you have, and you have friends who are there for you and care about you and are there to help make your experience at Stritch even better than you ever could imagine.
Perfect. Thank you. Mateus, piece of advice for our future students.
I would say try to be organized, be motivated, try to be engaged with the activities on campus. As Maddie said, don't just go to class and go to your room. Be involved with the community. That's going to make your life throughout college much easier and nicer.
Nice. Thank you. And Noah, the new guy on the block, the new freshman, what can you tell a future student? What's a piece of advice that you would give them?
The one thing that's really helped me is, well, try to stay as organized as possible. And then, because I am the opposite of that, I'm very disorganized with most of my things. So especially through this job experience, it's taught me that I have to definitely shape up when it comes to organization. But besides that, just remember that you got a whole community behind you, and the teachers at Stritch are awesome, and just try to reach out as much as you can if you need help to them, because they will do whatever they can to make your experience easier and more as good as they can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we're kind of coming up on our time for our first ever live stream here at Cardinal Stritch. I do want to give anybody that's watching right now the opportunity, if you have questions, you can type them right into the comments and we will see those. We're happy to answer those for you live. But I wanted to give a big shout of thanks to Noah, Maddie, and Mateus for joining us today. It's a really unusual time to be a student, whether you're a high school student or a college student, or if you're somebody that's thinking about coming back to college for the first time. The opportunities that Stritch offers you through being a small school, having a focused curriculum, having an innovative curriculum, the bevy of opportunities you have to study abroad, to join clubs and organizations, to become a student athlete is all right here at Cardinal Stritch University. So we'd be more than excited to see you join us here at the university either this spring or next fall. We do have another event coming up later on today via Zoom. That is for students who are interested in a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. You can sign up for that event at stritch.edu/about/events. And that is strictly for BSN. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the nursing program, you can log in for that event tonight. It's free. You don't need to pay anything to join us. And then next week, December 3rd, we have an event that we're hosting with our psychology department. So you can learn a little bit more about opportunities in psychology, what the psychology department is doing right now, research projects that are being done by current students, and actually learn a little bit more about the transition from being an undergrad psychology student into some of our graduate programs. So there's a lot of unique opportunities there. So real fast, last question. We'll go back up to Noah. I know you're back home. I saw Dad nosing around in the back there, wanted to be on the live stream. What is your favorite part of Thanksgiving, Noah?
My favorite part of Thanksgiving is like sharing cultures with other people. We had a little Thanksgiving idea that we unfortunately didn't get to execute later on in our Stritch experience, where we were going to have all of our people from different countries bring like their types of food to like a little gathering, which would have been awesome. But I can't wait to do it next year. And I just love the different cultures that come out of sharing with each other.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Maddie, what are you looking forward to for Thanksgiving?
Spending time with my family. I haven't been able to spend time with them or see them really since the start of the semester, just because of safety with COVID stuff. So just being able to see them, spend time with them, and kind of just get a little bit of a break from everything is what I'm very, very excited to be able to have.
Awesome. Thank you. Mateus, I know you're a long way from home, but do you have any Thanksgiving plans? Are you going to be able to join some friends? What's going on?
For me, because we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Brazil, we do have a huge, like a big Christmas party that's like Thanksgiving here. But last year I went to a teammate's home, and they were really welcoming, and I could feel the spirit of Thanksgiving and how things are. So I guess this year I'm gonna feel that. I'm gonna miss that because you're not having his family is not having Thanksgiving because of COVID. But yeah, I feel like for me now, it's getting together with people that we like and being around people that, even though they're not actually my family, they make me feel like they are my family, and I feel part and integrated of the family. So I think that's really nice for me.
Awesome. Thank you. And I know Mateus is a big eater. Him eating literally every time I see him, he's eating. So might be missing out on some good turkey there. So again,
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Again, if you have questions and you want to learn more about Cardinal Stritch, you can always add them into the comments, or you can email us at admissions@stritch.edu, and we'll get answers to your questions. And you can also learn more about Cardinal Stritch University by simply visiting our website at stritch.edu. So thanks again, everybody. We really enjoyed having you as all part of our first ever live stream broadcast here on the fabulous Facebook and YouTube. And we hope to do this again really, really soon. So thank you, everybody. Goodbye.